Okay, so continuing on with athlete 16, the data suggests that athlete 16 has regularly low sleep quality, and this could be due to a number of factors. But because she was reporting this consistently, the data would need to be brought to the coaching staff's attention so they could be aware of what was going on with their athlete at all times. The data also suggests through the AC graph for top sprint speed average for athlete 16 that this athlete might could be pushed a little harder and be encouraged to give a little bit more effort than she's giving, or maybe challenged a little bit more. Her data shows that she can increase her sprint speed average and also stay within the bounds of healthy training level that the data wants in the upper and lower limits. And this data can be taken to the coach to kind of show that she has more in the tank, might be able to up her game a little bit and bring a little bit more to the playing field. Again, it's not our job to coach, but this is the kind of thing that coach would want to see from these data points that are being recorded. Athlete 17, although there's not a lot of data reported with athlete 17 throughout the season, we do see a very high level or a moderately high level of stress that this athlete is reporting, even in the first 2 weeks of preseason. Um, there's a lot going on, but coach would need to know about this as well. The athlete seems to continuously report higher levels the first couple weeks and then falls off completely, which is probably due to a lack of fill out the questionnaire. But this could be due to injury, a number of sorts of things. But this would be something that I would want to bring to coach's attention. Athlete 18. Again, there's a drop off in data points for athlete 18, but her GPS sessions were not logged, possibly again due to injury. But she had periodically reported levels of fatigue and stress, and they do correlate with each other. The week of 9/28, she was very fatigued, very stressed. And this is the same for the week of 9/14, showing high levels of fatigue and stress, as well as 11/2. Again, higher levels of stress, higher levels of fatigue. These would be points of data that coach would need to be aware of just to make sure that he can monitor these athletes and get them the help that they need, or get them in a place that they can take care of the stress and the fatigue. Athlete 19, this data piques my interest in week 2. The athlete seems to lower her level of play by a considerate amount. These graphs are tied to her average GPS session load, which shows her involvement going down and staying low for a few weeks, followed by a spike and then a repeat in the cycle. I would bring the initial fall of load to the coach so that he might be able to encourage her and praise her good and get her where she needs to be. Make sure that she's focused and staying in the game so that she brings a more consistent workload work ratio to the field. Athlete 20 has the first 2 weeks-ish, first week, reports a very low mood, very high stress. Her stress is hitting the upper limit of what is set, but I would want to bring this to the coach's attention. Even right off the bat, she's reporting high stress, low mood, which could be, again, related to a number of things, but I would want to bring this to the coach as a concern to make sure that she has the resources she needs and that she knows she can reach out, and that she's not doing this alone, that she doesn't have to carry that stress. Get her those resources through coach. Athlete 21, the data shows consistently high and level days of fatigue and soreness. This data suggests that week 2 was pretty brutal, and it might be an area of concern. She reports having high soreness and fatigue that might be flagged and accompanied by a better recovery strategy, better stretching and at-home things that she can be doing to keep up with the demands of sport and the training regimen. Athlete 22, there are several data points that are of concern. Let's see if we can, I don't know if you can see all that. This athlete shows a very high increase in strain levels in week 3, which is also accompanied by higher fatigue levels, even reaching our upper limit that is set. Her AC ratio for this, which is looking at her GPS session load again, is within the limits, but as we look at the data, the athlete then slopes off in the overall workload, and the level of strain suggests her work rate and load decrease drastically. This might be just concerning when talking about consistency throughout the season and being able to maintain the same level of work throughout. I might also contact coach through week 10. The data shows a major spike in strain and AC ratio, which is directly related to a higher effect size. And because of the prior weeks of lower sessions, the athlete might have a tendency to push really hard one week and then not be able to recover well enough. So this is something that would be brought to coach's attention regarding athlete 22. Athlete 23, there we go. Has data suggesting that she carries high volumes of stress the later half of week 3. This is also concurrent with data reporting decreased mood for athlete 23, and as the data shows, this mood state kind of lingers and stress levels maintain on the higher end throughout. This will be worth communicating to coach again to make sure that she knows she has resources and can reach out and that she can get help if she needs it or just be brought to her attention. But this is definitely something that I would want to report and bring up to coach's attention. Athlete 24 shows higher level of fatigue, and this might, in the first 2 weeks, week and a half preseason, this might deter her from bringing her best game every single day. So these first couple weeks, preseason's hard. There's a lot of training going on. This might be worth bringing to coach's attention so that we can get her into a recovery session and teach her how to take care of her body and maintain so that she can bring her best game every single training session, or at least lower her fatigue levels so that she feels better. Athlete 25, the data suggests that she has consistent quad soreness. So as we look at the data, it shows that there are a few days that she doesn't have any quad soreness. But we can also see that the right quad is very sore in the middle of the week of 10-5 and 10-24. 10-24 correlates with the left quad being sore. So that to me would suggest that they had a lifting session, a training session that was very quad dominant, which wouldn't be as of much concern. But the week of 10-5, where the right quad is really sore and the left quad is not so sore, that might be a point of concern, just to make sure that the athlete's not pushing too much, or that they might need to go get checked out to make sure that something's not off, that they could get ahead of with their recovery and rest. If we look at these, just the quad compared to average overall soreness, the levels of overall soreness do spike throughout the season and are pretty high, like maintained throughout the season. So this specifically, athlete 25 might need to be looked into specific recovery and rest regimens to make sure that she can still compete throughout the season without having these spikes in soreness. Athlete 26 shows sustained low sleep quality paired with greater amounts of stress, specifically through the week of 9-14 and 9-28. This period of time may be of concern to us because the athlete is having low sleep and high stress. So there's something going on. This might be brought to coach to make sure that he can reach out and just monitor, check on her, make sure everything's good, because she's reporting that something's off. And athlete 27, there will be concern around 10-19. There's high levels of fatigue and climbing amounts of stress. Again, this is important. We want to look at the athlete as a person and not just a player. We want to make sure that they are covered on all spectrums. And 10-12, athlete 27 stress starts to really climb and stays consistently high for the rest of the semester. And this is also correlated with higher levels of fatigue. So we want to make sure this athlete has the resources and has the out that she needs to bring her best in the classroom and on the field. And that is what I would bring to coach from my data. And thank you for listening.